I never thought I would share the darkest moments of my life with anyone, but here I am today. My mother died when I was 11. Even now, writing that sentence feels unreal. She was the kind of woman who made every place feel warmer just by being there. Our house used to smell like fresh food and comfort, and her laugh filled every corner. When cancer took her, it didn't just take her body, it hollowed out our home. Silence replaced warmth. Laughter turned into routine. My father tried to stay strong for me, but grief changed him in ways neither of us understood at the time. He stopped smiling the way he used to. He spoke less. The house felt quieter, heavier, like it was holding its breath. For a long time, it was just the two of us. We learned to survive together. Some days were okay. Some days were unbearable. My father worked longer hours, maybe to distract himself, maybe to avoid coming home to reminders of what we'd lost. I didn't blame him. We were both broken in our own ways. 2 years later, Linda entered our lives. She appeared suddenly, like a solution my father had been desperately searching for. She was calm, polite, and always seemed to know the right thing to say. In public, she was charming. At church, people adored her. Neighbors praised her manners. Teachers smiled when they met her and told me I was lucky to have such a supportive stepmother. I wanted to believe them. I truly did. After losing my mother, the idea of a normal family again felt like hope. At first, Linda barely acknowledged me. She wasn't rude, just distant. It felt awkward, but harmless. I told myself she needed time. I told myself blending families was hard. I tried to stay out of the way. I was wrong. After my father married her, subtle things began to change. Changes so small that they were easy to ignore at first. She never raised her voice. She never hit me. Instead, she mastered something far more dangerous, control disguised as concern. She would smile sweetly while commenting on how expensive groceries had become whenever I asked for something extra. She'd sigh dramatically if I needed new clothes, reminding me how hard my father worked. She constantly compared me to other kids my age, praising how responsible and grateful they were. If I confronted her, she cried. If I told my dad, she twisted the story. If I stayed silent, she pushed further. Slowly, almost invisibly, the balance in our home shifted. My father started seeing me as difficult, ungrateful, emotional. Linda never told outright lies. She didn't have to. She planted doubts. She framed every situation so she looked like the caring adult, and I looked like the troubled teenager. By the time I turned 16, I felt like a guest in my own home. Linda controlled everything. The groceries, the house rules, the daily schedule. Even the smallest decisions went through her. My room became the only place I felt remotely safe. It was the last space that still felt like mine. Even then, she'd go through my things when I wasn't around. I'd notice books moved, drawers slightly open, items no longer where I left them. One day, I came home from school and noticed something missing. My mother's photo frame, the one I kept on my desk, was gone. My chest tightened. I searched the room, then the house. Finally, I asked Linda. "Oh," she said casually, barely looking up. It didn't fit the aesthetic. That night, I cried quietly in my room, pressing my face into my pillow so no one would hear me. It hit me then. She wasn't just trying to control my present, she was erasing my past. The first moment I felt real fear came during dinner while my dad was away on a business trip. Linda cooked and placed a plate in front of me. The food smelled strange, not rotten, just off. When I hesitated, her smile tightened, just a little. "You should eat," she said softly. "Your father hates waste." I didn't want to argue. I didn't want to give her another reason to paint me as difficult. I forced myself to take a few bites. That night, I became extremely sick. I spent hours awake, staring at the ceiling, my body trembling. When I mentioned it the next morning, Linda acted concerned, touching my shoulder lightly and offering water. But her eyes told a different story. Cold, measuring, like she was observing an experiment. From that point on, I started paying attention. I noticed patterns, the way she always made sure I was alone when she said certain things, the way she spoke kindly in front of my father and differently when he wasn't around. She slowly isolated me. She told my dad my friends were bad influences. She suggested teachers were manipulating me. Anytime I tried to defend myself, she accused me of lying or exaggerating. Over time, I began questioning my own memories. Gaslighting does that. It makes you doubt your own mind. The breaking point came one night when I went downstairs to grab my forgotten phone. The house was quiet. The lights in the kitchen were on. Linda was on the phone. She didn't know I was there. Her voice wasn't sweet anymore. "He's almost 18, she said calmly. "No, he suspects nothing. Once he's out of the picture, everything will be easier." There was a pause. Then she laughed softly. "Accidents happen all the time." I stood frozen in the dark, my heart pounding so loudly I was sure she'd hear it. My hands went cold. In that moment, every strange look, every comment, every incident clicked into place. Fear turned into clarity. I didn't confront her. Panic wouldn't save me. Evidence would. I started documenting everything, quietly, carefully. I recorded conversations when I could. I saved messages. I wrote down dates, times, exact words. I observed patterns. I acted normal, polite, quiet, invisible. Linda thought she was winning. She grew careless. One afternoon, she handed me a drink and smiled. "Your favorite," she said. Something in her tone felt rehearsed. My instincts screamed. I didn't drink it. I pretended to, then later discreetly poured it into a container. Through a trusted friend, I had it tested. When the results came back, my hands shook. The report confirmed the presence of something that should never have been there. Something dangerous. I wasn't paranoid. I wasn't imagining things. I was being deliberately harmed. This time, when I went to my father, I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I brought facts. Recordings, reports, timelines. I laid everything out carefully. I watched his face change as reality finally broke through the illusion Linda had built. He looked older in that moment than I'd ever seen him. That night, authorities came to the house. Linda didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just stared at me like she couldn't believe her plan had failed. The aftermath, legal proceedings, therapy, healing, guilt. My father apologized more times than I can count. We're rebuilding now. Some scars don't fade quickly, but freedom feels incredible. I still have nightmares. Memories don't disappear overnight. But most mornings I wake up knowing I survived. If you're reading this and something feels wrong in your life, document everything. Speak when it's safe. You're not weak for surviving, for not giving up.